Good morning, folks. The real Captain Kirk here, live from Weather Trends 360 studio here in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It is the 9th of December. You have 15 days, 13 hours, 40 minutes, and about 6 seconds to get your Christmas shopping done before Christmas. I know I just sent a lot of people into panic mode, and even some big retail clients. Again, got a couple weeks left here. We are today going to talk about, again, some of the retail sales leading into Christmas. A lot of folks ask, why do you say the real Captain Kirk? And I say, well, because I was back in the day, some 30 years ago, and blessed to have some awesome experience working briefly with this general and also some NASA shuttle discovery, and just forever changed how we think today, which is year-ahead weather. I know that sounds impossible, but that's what we do. Thought we'd talk about that here for the retail customers. Again, looking at these charts here show national temperature trends versus average on the left doesn't mean much to them, but versus last year does. So let's key in on that third week here of before Christmas, the last full week before Christmas, 15th through the 21st, where we see nationally that temperature trends are 9 degrees colder than last year. And we'll quantify that and what that means for seasonal sales here for, again, that all critical last full week before Christmas. We call this our power of 1 degree technology. Every 1 degree colder this time of year, there's about a 1% increase in soup sales. Every 1 degree colder, 5% increase in coat sales. And every 1 degree colder, 24% increase in bedding sales. So let's apply this simple math here. Again, now it's much more complicated than this because you do this by store, by geography. So there are nuances, of course. But this is the simple train of thought here. So again, just applying the power of 1 degrees for seasonal sales times 9 degrees colder for that third week of before Christmas. And we have some big sales gains. Soup, pantry loading, up 9%. Jeans, 18%. They have a big Christmas peak usually. Coffee sales up 18%. Flu medicine is probably going to be much higher than this. We're going to show our flu conditions here just off the scale right now. But so flu medicine, 18% just due to weather, but probably even higher than that. Winter boots up 27%. Antifreeze for your car up 36%. Coats up 45%. Unfortunately, your electric bill also up about 45%. Things like ice scrapers are kind of a Christmas tchotchke item. So last year they got hammered with the really warm Christmas weeks. So their sales were way down, but 63% increase this year. So good news there. Fire logs, again, ambiance for the holidays, 72% increase year over year. Heaters are very volatile, up 90%. And then, of course, electric blankets, you either need them or you don't. And as your utility bill and costs go up, you tend to buy electric bedding. So 216% increase. So again, you notice there we also say it's the wettest in 30, snowiest in 10, and that's a very disruptive. We've been talking about this for months now, but this critical shopping period. Every 1 inch more rainfall in any given location, there's about a 2.8% increase in flight delays. So unfortunately, we're talking pretty big flight delays for you traveling, and obviously for UPS, FedEx, Amazon, getting your packages there. So you might want to get them in the mail a little sooner because they're certainly going to have a lot of weather challenges here over the next couple weeks, again, with the pre-Christmas week being the coldest in 3, snowiest in 10, wettest in 30. So a lot of disruption here in the Americas. Canada, this is showing that, again, 15 through 21 December timeframe. Canada, U.S., again, much, much colder than last year. Pretty epic. So great news for seasonal. It can hurt store traffic. So you'll tend to be doing a little more online shopping maybe in the Americas as opposed to Europe, where it's much, much warmer than last year. The benefit there is, again, for store traffic, but a negative for seasonal merchandise sales. So, again, a little bit of how we try to help big retail supply side folks predict their seasonal sales a year ahead, by store, by week, everywhere on Earth. If you know that, you can better plan inventory, allocation, timing of advertising, markdowns. Again, it's the business side of weather. So it's pretty cool what we do. A lot of folks will say it's impossible, and we then just point them to a few folks here, about 1,000 folks that would disagree, saying that it is plausible, at least on some level. So again, these are some of our weather-savvy clients. Unfortunately, if you're feeling a little under the weather, I've had a little bit here myself. The flu is off the scale here, most in a decade. So this is a negative impact for retail sales. Online benefits, because we're all kind of stuck indoors and sick, so you might be on your computer more than you would be in the office. But the net here is we have a very, very fast season. Last year was more what we call a dome season, where the season was later. It was more in January, February, peaking in February timeframe. This year, probably going to see a big spike right around Christmas into the first part of January. So this is kind of a spike season, and then it kind of tails off. So late January, February, March may not be as bad as it was last year, but a big surge in flu coming here for unfortunately, right around the Christmas, New Year's timeframe. Looking at snow cover here this morning, again, it's only about 31.8%. That's a little below average, but we're going to be adding to that with a couple big snowstorm potentials here, actually several, as we go through the next couple weeks. So snow cover again this morning is nowhere near as bad as back in 2013 when almost 67% of the country had snow on the ground. We'll look at snowfall, this season to date now. So a lot of folks have had snow out there. Right now we'd say it's the most in 14 years, just a hair more than last year. So the U.S. snowfall index this season is 38% above average, fifth snowiest in 34 years. So obviously we've had some snow here so far this fall. It's not even officially winter yet. If we look at the model estimates, so now again, take this with a grain of salt. Shows a few systems here. One going through the upper Midwest Great Lakes today. That system will end as some snow here in the Mid-Atlantic Northeast. May actually get a good 3, 4, 5 inches just west of Philly in the New York, Boston areas. And then we got to watch a couple big storms here next week for that Christmas pre-week, again through the Midwest and again in the Northeast. So a lot to watch here as we go through the next couple weeks, critical shopping season here. Looking at this week overall for the nation as a whole, we'd see that, again, much of that cold air is up in the upper Midwest plains. Much colder than it should be this time of year. Mild on the East Coast, a little misleading because, again, we're going to be very, very warm here Monday, Tuesday, but then the bottom falls out midweek, which is for the latter half of the week, it's really, really cold. So, again, a little misleading here for the East. So enjoy the milder temperatures here because it's about to change. Just a hair colder than last year, 14th warmest in 30 years nationally for this week overall. Wettest in 11 years, much above average. Second wettest in 30 years. Snowfall more than last year, about average. Again, conveyor belt of wet conditions along the East Coast. Have to watch for some snow melt in New England here with all this milder weather, and rainfall can certainly be a negative. Jumping ahead to next week, again, 16 through 22 December, 8.2 degrees colder for this period. Now, again, this is more of a Monday to Sunday outlook, but 8.2 degrees colder than last year, 8th coldest in 30 years, well below average nationally. Again, a little misleading because we're having such volatile weather where it warms up a couple days ahead of a cold front before really cold air moves back in. So warmth might be a little bit misleading, but again, that map inset left is versus last year. Rainfall, wettest in 7 years, much above average again. Snowfall, much more than last year, above average. So again, a lot of negatives here as we go into the Christmas shopping season in terms of disruptive weather. So with that, folks, we hope you have a great week, and we will be back here this time next week.